Said, okay, then let me call my husband, your fiance. And I said, husband, your fiance is on the phone. And
We may look different and live in different countries, yet our stories are knitted with the same threads of excitement, uncertainties, challenges, and victories. As we journey through the ups and downs of life, it is our undeniable will and God's strength that propel us to joy after pain, smile after frowns, and ups after downs. We were born to win. We were destined to greatness. We are overcomers. Welcome to God's Scoops, raw and unedited stories. Welcome to Raw and Unedited Stories, the place where stories are told to uplift, encourage, and to brighten your day. Thanks to those who have already subscribed to our channel. And to those who have not, now is the time to do so. Remember to click the notification bell and, of course, leave a comment so we can know what you think. Today with us is a special woman who is here to share her story. But before she begins to talk about who she is and where she's from, let us just welcome her to Raw and Unedited Stories. Deborah, thank you.
Hi.
Finally, finally.
Finally, yes, yes. So my name is Deborah. Well, it's not my correct name, but I preferred to be called Deborah based on divine intervention. My correct name is Shalit Golden. I am from Portsmouth in Jamaica. I got married at a very, a little bit mid-age, thereabouts. And I'm a mother of two. I got married and to a man of the cloth, of course. And I was titled as a first lady. He was like oh my God, he was like my knight in shining armor. I remember prior to the marriage, even during the courtship and so forth. We always go to this plaza in Portsmouth. They would see us. And I remember after the wedding, when they saw, the premarital photos and the ones after, they were like, ooh, the couple of the year. Because we got married in 2007. April 7th, 2007. Yes. And it was just amazing initially. That type of behavior experience in the marriage was not something I was really expecting. But I went through it. I went through to a point where I want to share an instance when there was a point when someone called him, and it's like the person called him and one of his ladies called. And so when I went on the phone with him, and it's like, the young lady came on the phone and she said, may I speak to my fiance? So can you imagine? You're married to a man. And somebody's calling and saying, can I speak to my fiance? And there and then I was like, oh, could you please describe your fiance? How does he look? And she described him. And I'm like, okay, what did you say his name was again? And she said it again. And I said, what is his middle name? And she knew his middle name. I said, okay, then let me call my husband, your fiance. And I said, husband, your fiance is on the phone. And I didn't say anything for the entire night. But I woke up that night to that man sharpening a cutlass.
Yeah.
Yes, I woke up. I heard the sharp, him sharpening the cutlass, and it woke me up. And he was like there, and he was saying things, and you're not saying anything. You think you can leave me? If you think you can leave me, I will kill you, kill these children, and kill myself.
He was sharpening his machete. That's what you said?
He was sharpening his machete and all of that. So, and I was like, oh my God. And anyway, I'm telling you this, women, ladies, when it comes on to an abusive spouse, listen. Certain things you can't stop, but this is it. You gotta think. You gotta be smart. Because if that night I started screaming and running out that house, I wouldn't be here. I probably would have been dead, because that adrenaline rush, whatever was going through his mind, he would have dealt with me. But then something in me kicked in and said, just be nice to him. Just be nice to him. And ladies, there's a time in our lives that you don't want to. I mean, definitely, you don't want to stay with an abusive spouse. But there's a time in your life when you got to be smart, and that seductive part of you, it got to kick in. And that night, that part of me kicked in where I started to, rub him down and, oh, honey, I wouldn't do that. Why are you sharpening this cutlass? Why are you doing that? And I was just there talking to him nice. And I, rubbed his hand and I, listen, did you know that I'm saying, God, take me out of this, Lord, take me out. But when you're taking me out, I want to be alive and I want my children to be alive. But then God, put that in me because listen, I wasn't seducing somebody's husband at the time. He's my husband. So
Right.
I was just there, talking to him and he puts away the cutlass. And I believe that saved my life that night.
I feel as if I'm watching a movie. A
I need to
movie.
make it into a movie. I do. This book needs to be a movie because, listen, I did say earlier, it's nothing to contradict anyone because I don't put his name or anything in it. But this is it. We've got to be mindful of the person who we get involved with. And sometimes you don't know, but time will tell. And for me, I thought that I got married too quickly. For me, that's what I'm thinking because it wasn't we didn't know each other like for years. Yes, I knew his background in the sense that I met his mom, I met some of his family, but there were things that was not even known to me that along the way in the marriage I became aware of it. And then some of these things, had I known before, I would have thought about it, and
I am
rethink.
curious. I am
Yes,
curious though.
yes,
So he was pastoring a church
yes, he was.
at this time.
At that time, yes, he
How,
was.
how long did you court?
I met him in 2005, October, November, thereabouts. And then we started to talk and we got married. So that's what is that less than 2 years.
Okay.
That's less than 2 years. Don't get me wrong. There are folks who do it earlier and it works, but it just doesn't work for some of us.
What did you learn about
Okay.
yourself during that time?
During that time, I learned about my strength as a woman. I learned about the importance of waiting on God. I've learned also that even children suffer domestic violence and it is impactful on them. And even men, there are men, because while I was creating my book, there were a number of men that I spoke to, and there were men who also experienced it, but the broader spectrum is that of women and children. So if you're seeing the signs and you are ignoring them, that's not good. Because if you need to just you know take the shame now. If you're thinking that okay, people are gonna laugh at me, take that shame now and just get out. Don't go through with it once you're seeing the sign. Now, my concern are those ladies who are not seeing the sign. There is absolutely no sign because there are those narcissists who know how to pretend and they will pretend for a while. Now, for you, a person can pretend for so long. And so waiting on God is very important. Wait on God. Wait on God. Wait on God. If somebody give you a prophecy, oh, that's your husband, whatever. No, you hear from God. You fast, you pray, and you wait on God. If you're already in it, ask God for his divine wisdom. Pray, pray, pray. And whatever God tells you to do it.
Amen. And also, you have to know exactly that you can get out.
Yes, you can.
You can.
Hmm.
So never feel like you can't get out, right?
Yes, yes.
Talk to us briefly about your book.
My book. So I wrote a book in 2019. Sorry, it's my memoir, and it's entitled "Crisis: A First Lady's Journey." Deborah's intriguing story. It is right there on Amazon. You can go ahead get your copies. I also have the e version of it, and as well as the print. There are most persons who prefer getting the physical print being mailed to them and so forth and so on. You can contact me on my email at deborah GODIE40 that I will correspond with you and get your physical copy to you, as well as you can go ahead, order your physical copies on Amazon and read that book. Give it to a friend, give it to someone who is struggling. Giving in that way, give it, just share it. Keep giving that book to someone. Get them as gifts. Give them out to those. Get them reading in those areas where you have women are struggling with domestic violence, and those who are not sure if they're entering into that. Those who are seeing the signs. You need to read that book. You need to read it, and you need to also look at the after effects of such situations.
Thank you, Deborah. And I'm sure we're going to invite you back to talk about the side
Yes,
effects of
yes.
domestic violence on children and women and even extended family members.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your memoir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us today on Raw and Unedited Stories, where stories are told to uplift and encourage. And remember, subscribe. And if you have not done so, remember to share and leave a comment in the comment section. Thanks for those who already subscribed. And you have yourself a phenomenal day.